A collection of short stories that just makes me ask, what the
Whoa!
So there's a lot of things in the news today. They're not really like giant topics, just skimming over a little bit things. So I have three articles that I'm going to pull up today, and we won't spend a whole lot of time on those. And it's mostly just going to be visual reactions to it. The first one that I do want to bring up, though, and let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. This Snow White trailer has been absolutely horrendous. But only for Disney, because in the first 24 hours, they have gotten well over 500,000, almost like 500 million, 500,000 dislikes. Well, they only have like 26,000 likes. And a lot of people are lambasting it. We lambasted it last night on our live show. It just doesn't look good. There's absolutely nothing about it. And here's the biggest problem. It all has to do with these PR moves that Rachel Zegler has been doing for well over a year now. Basically talking down everything, saying that they're taking the beloved story, the first live action feature from Walt Disney, which made sure that his company didn't go into bankruptcy and then put them on the map, really. Yeah, we're going to change that story. The fairest of them all isn't what you actually mean. She's getting stalked by a prince. Weird, weird, all that kind of stupid crap. The way that she's been saying everything, she's just completely unlikable as a person. And now, from what it seems like, especially after this, with everything that's been going on in the world, even Disney is like distancing themselves from her. She only had there's nothing on her IMDb upcoming page other than Snow White. She's not being booked for anything else. I think Y2K, which if that isn't out already, is coming out soon. That's basically the last thing that she's going to be in. But here's the big reason why Disney really wants to distance themselves from her, because not only the countless reshoots, the way that the public has been like, we're holding your feet to the fire on this one because this is the most, arguably the most classic of classic Disney. You better not screw it up. And it seems like they have at every single point, and their lead actress has not done anything to help their case whatsoever. But especially with things like Moana 2, breaking records, breaking records in the box office, seems to be beloved. Their year that they had with Inside Out too. Also, the thing that's going on with Wicked and everything like that is that they got a lot of big wins in a row, and they just kind of see that no, Rachel is going to absolutely tank our winning streak. We were trying to get out of this slump. We started to make some headway. We got a couple of hits, couple of on bases. We even got a home run. Drove in a couple of runs, and she's just going to like strike out the inning. So I think that's really one of the biggest reasons why even they are distancing themselves and just like giving all this PR, shall we say, advice to cut the landlines to her house and make sure that she has absolutely no contact with the social media world, because she can't do anything except stick her foot in her giant toothy mouth. Now, following in the footsteps of how she's basically canceling herself, someone that was canceled and found later on to be mostly innocent was basically absolved of everything and lost out on millions and millions and millions of dollars, not only in movie roles, but just the one franchise that a lot of people, it's not that you know him from it, but it's kind of one of his most famous characters. That is Johnny Depp. Now, these are only reports and rumors, but is Johnny Depp really considering a return of Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean franchise? I normally say Caribbean, but it just comes out of my mouth however it comes out. So the recent buzz is that he's possibly returning, as the internet is aflame with speculation. So this is all according to Variety. So these are just rumors, but it's rumors that we're going to pass on to you. So keep the conversation alive. So according to Variety, Disney is eyeing none other than the guy who made it iconic in the first place. It was based off a freaking ride at Disney World. Get your head out of your ass for one more stroll in Captain Jack's boots. Depp is far from a lock at the moment, and there's one thing that I did want to bring out. So Bruckheimer's involvement. So he was the one that initially did the first Pirates of the Caribbean movies. and produced them. He used to be a powerhouse in the 2000s. Haven't really seen much from him in a while, but he kind of had the same, I guess, kind of flair as J.J. Abrams before he completely ruined Star Wars with no lube. But he says that he is supervising two different scripts for the next Pirates film, so apparently they're trying to make it in the first place. If you're going to make another one, especially with how public that trial was, yeah, you're going to want to get him back. However, what is the cost of that? What is the price? And therein lies the real question. Okay, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. He says, okay, got two different scripts for the Pirates film, only one of which has a role for Captain Jack. And that's kind of normal in Hollywood. You get a bunch of different treatments, you pick the one you like, and then you still kind of like weasel around it. There's constantly rewrites. Even during shooting, they're still rewriting day of during shooting. So that is not out of the ordinary. But just the fact they're even bringing this up and leaking it to reporters and everything like that means that that's what they really want. Now, whether or not Johnny would actually come back, that's the ball is completely in his court. He has all of the dominoes. He's got all of the chips on his side of the table. So you want to go all in? All right. I call. Here's one chip. I still have this giant pile. No, it's all going to be up to him because actually, if you guys don't remember, Johnny Depp was actually executive producing some of the later Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Like he was basically, I wouldn't say on the board, but he was basically, yeah, he was one of the ones that was pushing more of them to come out and funding it, helping fund it. So that's just another little thing that I wanted to throw your way, throw on your plate. What do you think is actually going to come of this? Do you think he would ever come back? I personally don't think he needs it. And I think he'd been soured by how he was treated and completely just like blackballed and blacklisted from Hollywood just because of accusations that were later found to be false. I don't think he would come back, but you never know. For the right price, the only problem with having the right price is that that movie is almost guaranteed to not make money for how much it's going to cost to get a star of that name back in there and back into their good graces. So I kind of think this is a wash. And it's just, if it still does go forward, they're going to use the other one. He might make a cameo for like a cool $20 million or something like that somewhere, but he won't be a big part of the story. And that movie's going to flop. Now we come down to our last story of the evening. And it's something that caught me extremely off guard because I haven't heard anybody talk about this. And apparently, this article came out today. So, y'all know how much I love Scrubs. You probably don't because you don't know me. I freaking love Scrubs as one of the best comedy shows of all time. It ranks up there with The Office for me, with like The Office, Scrubs, Futurama. Parks and Rec is a little bit down there, but that was still a good one too. Good gracious, they are rebooting it. So the Scrubs reboot is officially in the works at ABC, and Bill Lawrence, the guy who created it, he's attached to the project. How attached is he? This is what I want to find out. So we're going to go through this just a little bit deeper. So ABC is in the early stages of developing the project with 20th Television and the series creator Bill Lawrence. A reboot or revival of Scrubs. Yeah, they've been talking about it for a long time. They tried to keep it going on without the original characters, and it freaking flopped. Remember Dave Franco? Remember that other really hot girl? But she was just kind of like butch and a little bit of a whore. And then token black guy. They tried to do all this stuff before. It didn't work out. They even kept Dr. Cox around, but like it was an ensemble cast, and this is what you can't recreate. You can't recapture that lightning in the bottle that you had with the original Scrubs. So at a 2022 ATX festival, Lawrence said, "We're going to do it. You guys know if you ever have an excuse to work with people you want to spend time with anyway, run to it." So what this kind of means to me is that they're probably going to try to bring them back. However, I did this for a reason why I didn't read the whole article, and I just want to react to it while we're reading this together. So, one sticking point: Lawrence, who was based at Touchstone ABC Studios during the original show's run, now has a rich overall deal at Warner Brothers. That's not a good sign. He has been allowed for a carve out in his deal to work on the Scrubs reboot. He won't serve as showrunner. That's also something that should stick out to you, or at least it sticks out to me, because he was a part of every single thing. That was his baby child. That was his little love girl. Those are not the right words for it, but you know what I mean. No other deals for the reboot with either cast or off-camera talent are in place as of now, so it's still just strictly in talks. However, they have gone through the talks enough to make sure that, like, hey, I'm not going to be burgeoning my contract by going off and working with another thing. Y'all are okaying this, and I'm going to make time for it. So yes, it talks about how Scrubs in its heyday ran for 9 seasons from 2001 to 2010, the first 7 on NBC and the final 2 at ABC. The final 2 at ABC fucking sucked. But Zach Braff, Donald Faison, who are friends in real life, and everyone knows them. Chocolate Bear and Vanilla Bear. Sarah Chalk, who went on to have a prominent role in How I Met Your Mother for quite a while. She's been around too. And there's just so many people that were involved with this. And a lot of them, even Neil Flynn, who played janitor, even him, he got his own TV show later on because their characters and their acting talent was so good. So he's tossed around several ideas for an update, including one that would feature members of the original cast along with a new crop of interns finding their way. They already did this. And it failed. And unfortunately, I don't think this will ever work because these people have been out of the limelight for so long. They have been away from the Scrubs universe. Scrubs is like a memory. It's like Seinfeld. If you try to bring back like Seinfeld again, no, in no way am I trying to say anything like whereas I'm equating Seinfeld and Scrubs. But if you were trying to bring all the original actors from Seinfeld back and have a reunion show, and what I mean by show is a reunion series that goes for another 3, 4 seasons, it will not work. It can't be captured again. You had it when you had it, and then it wasn't the greatest ending, but people look back on it fondly. It's the same thing with Scrubs. People look back on it fondly. I don't think anybody is wanting this. And if you're wanting it, if you're interested in it, then you're wrong, and I hate you. But I don't actually hate you. I just leave well enough alone. Let the sleeping dogs lie. Scrubs was great for 7 seasons, 7.5, I would actually say. It was great, but that time is over. That ship has passed. Well, y'all let me know what is going on in your minds. What do you think about all of this? And do you think this is even a good idea? Do you think any of this stuff is even plausible? Do you think it's even plausible for Snow White to make this morning back? Like, is it even going to break even throughout all this crap? Will Rachel Zegler ever get another job in a mainline budget Hollywood movie? Will the Scrubs thing actually come to fruition? And will Johnny Depp come back to reprise his role as Jack Sparrow? I think I'm voting straight line no on that ticket come voting season. But what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want, and talk your shit. You won't get hit over here. It's Multi from the GCA. Y'all have a good one.